If you want to give your child €1,000,000 and not be worried about the tax man from the point of view of capital acquisitions tax or gift tax, then in this video I'm going to tell you how you can do it. So let's go take a walk. This is a ruse or tax break, tax exemption that very wealthy people make use of. Not everybody has €1,000,000 to give to a child. The same principle applies to the tax exemptions that I'm going to discuss here in this video. So we're going to take a walk down the road, and I wanted to explain that capital acquisitions tax, which is the tax arising from a benefit arising in a will, or gift tax, which is obviously tax on a gift, can be prohibitive and can make it difficult for a parent to look after a child if they're lucky enough to be in the fortunate position to be able to afford it. But I'm going to look at an exemption which is a game changer, and very wealthy people avail of this all the time, and it's one of the reasons why a particular asset class is in very, very high demand in Ireland in 2024. This video I'm going to bring the sauce. I'm using my drone to illustrate the point. So let's take a little walk down the road here. Yeah, I'm going to bring my drone here and fly it just to illustrate the point of what I'm making, or what the point I'm making. I've flown my drone for a while, so the battery was flat, unfortunately, so I gotta go home and charge it up. Don't think it'll take very long. Key to this tax break is agricultural relief. If you give your child €1,000,000 in cash, either through a will or through a gift, then your child has a tax exemption, or a tax threshold of around about 335,000. The child will therefore be taxed on the balance, that is 665,000 or thereabouts. If you give your child a couple of houses, or even one house worth €1,000,000, you have again a threshold of 335,000, gift from parent to child, or benefit in a will from a parent to a child. Again, you've taxed at 665,000. Okay, so give cash, you're looking at a bill on the 665 grand at 33%. If you give a house or property, you're looking at a similar sort of a liability. However, if you give agricultural land, the land at, let's say, $1 million attracts, if it's agricultural land and the beneficiary is considered to be a farmer for tax purposes. And that means that 80% at least of the beneficiaries or the donees' assets are agricultural assets. And that can be fixed, remember. You can actually divest assets prior to receiving the gift of the agricultural land. Now you have received agricultural land worth $1 million, you're entitled to be treated from a tax perspective as a farmer, and that means you get agricultural relief. The benefit of agricultural relief is that the value of the land worth $1 million is reduced to 10% of its value. So now you're actually giving the child an asset worth $1 million, which from a tax perspective is valued at only 100,000. So you have 100,000 from a tax perspective of a gift or a benefit in a will. You have a tax-free exemption or threshold of 335,000. Therefore the child pays no gift tax and no capital acquisitions tax, and that explains why very wealthy investors, very wealthy people are paying big money for trophy farms around the country, and why certain individuals are buying up parts of certain counties, buying any available land, because from a tax perspective, with agricultural relief, it's a tax efficient way to pass on assets value to a child or to children without the taxman getting too involved. It's agricultural relief. It reduces the value of the agricultural land by 90%, from $1 million to 100,000, or from $500,000 to 50 grand. And therefore there's no tax on the gift, there's no tax on the benefit out of a will, there's no capital acquisitions tax, and the child has the benefit of a very, very tax efficient gift or benefit in the will. There's a similar relief for businesses, business relief it's called. There's certain conditions, more conditions probably attaching to the business relief, and certain assets don't qualify for the business relief. I'll do a separate video on business relief, but for now this video on agricultural relief. It's a massive tax break, it's a fantastic tax exemption, and the key is you are passing on or gifting agricultural land, and therefore the recipient or the donee, the lucky son or daughter, is considered to be a farmer, provided 80% at least of their assets are agricultural assets. Then they can get the tax relief, they can get the agricultural relief. The value of the gift is reduced to 10%. So €1.5 million farm, for example, or agricultural land is reduced to 150,000, and the tax exemption, the tax-free threshold for a son or a daughter in respect of a gift from a parent or a benefit from a parent in a will is 335,000 or thereabouts. So that more than covers the taxable value of the gift. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I would appreciate if you gave it the thumbs up down below, and don't say that this video doesn't bring the sauce. Hit the like button down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.